Hello guys, my name is Kaimana Kane, and today I'm going to be giving you a book review on who was Alexander Graham Bell. So Alexander was born in Scotland March 3rd, 1847, and he loved problem solving and he loved inventing. Those two were his most favorite hobbies. So one time when he was working with his dad and his brother, because he had so many brothers, well, it was like a brother his age, and there's this thing that mashes grains, and there was another task his father asked him to do that could be solved with using the machine that mashed grains. And Alexander asked his dad, like, why can't we use this for that? And his father had never thought of that before, and he was like, oh yeah, you could use that, try it. And it actually worked. So as you can see, Alexander Graham Bell was very good at inventing, and he loved problem solving. Like in school, he just did all the work, bam, 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 and he was just really good, and he exceeded the teacher's expectations. So in 1862, he moved in with his grandpa, and his grandpa was a very formal man. And you're like, well, that was just a huge time jump from loving problem solving and like bonding with his father to like hanging out with his grandpa in 1862, from 1847 to 1862. And basically, like, I know that's what you're thinking. Maybe not, but probably a lot of you are. But I didn't just really mention all that, and it actually says in this book, not a lot of things happened in his childhood. So in 1862, he moved in with his grandpa, and his grandpa taught people who stuttered and had speech problems, both of them. So Alexander Graham Bell learned how to play piano, and he was actually really good at it. So in 1863, he teaches at the West House the West House Academy. And he moves in with his grandpa, and as I already said, his grandpa was a very formal man. So he made him wear a ribbon right below his neck, or whatever you call that. He made him more like, well, not exactly his favorite clothes, but like formal clothes with like maybe a green and black plaid jacket with a white t-shirt underneath. I mean, he made him walk out in public with his hair slicked back. Not exactly slicked back, but kind of in that kind of style of hair. But I think the grandpa did a good job teaching him about formality, dedication, discipline, because Alexander Graham Bell, well, he wasn't all that disciplined, but he was, well, there's some people who are really good at something but are not committed, like not disciplined, and his grandpa taught him like how to think of things in a different perspective. Like, what if it helped people? Like, if what were you doing, but you changed the perspective a little? And he was like, yeah, I never thought of it that way. Although Alexander thought he had a really big ego. Not gigantic, but he had slight of an ego, and his grandpa started slowly noticing that it was kind of building up. So his grandpa told him, well, he started getting on him slowly by slowly, the more ego he gained. And then Alexander learned that he shouldn't be like mean or something. He shouldn't be like, oh, I'm better than you, why should I even try? But it's not he was that mean. He was like, okay, I'll do it. Here it is, I'll teach you how to do it. Like, he was like, bam, bam, bam. Like, if you get what I'm talking about. But so sadly, his brother and his other older brother died of tuberculosis. And tuberculosis is a type of sickness. So in 1871, he starts teaching deaf people. So, in March 17th, I was about to say March 17th. March 7, 1876, he invents the one and only telephone. and it didn't really mention a lot about his main events of what happened in his life. Just mostly talks about the storyline of say how his brother died, or his grandpa taught him formality and discipline, and how he loved problem solving and inventing, and that grain smasher used for another task. I mean, Alexander Graham Bell found a way around, but also worked hard to do it. He worked smart and hard. So that's what I like about him. So in 1877, he creates a company, and he marries Mabel. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, but I'll just call her Mary H. on July 11th, 1877. And then he had his first daughter. So aside from the point, Alexander Graham Bell loved his job, and he was always intrigued about hearing, and he wondered about very interesting things like how birds could fly with only using their arms and humans can't. But when he grew up, he realized why. Because first of all, birds are really light. Birds have bigger wingspan. So, and also they can glide along the air. So, but Alexander Graham Bell still thought about the universe, and he was what happens? What happens about the universe? So he wondered about very interesting things. So that's the story of who was Graham Bell, and there wasn't a lot to talk about. As I already mentioned, it was kind of like a storyline, and that's what I like about this author. It just doesn't get to what he's famous of, because after all, it's all about the person, not what famous things he did. But I mean, I will like to add some famous things, but also what was happening in his personal life that, he didn't give speeches about, he didn't tell most people about, but he told his very close friends. So that's the story of who was Alexander Graham Bell. But I hope you liked my book review. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and tell them who sent you. Kaimana Kane did.